What do you do when you receive that first offer on your house? Someone out there is going to look at your house, your kitchen, your backyard, and that quirky little closet that you never quite figure out what to do with, and they're gonna say, yep, this is the one. So whether your house has been on the market for 2 days or 2 months, getting that first offer is worth celebrating. So pause whatever you're doing, grab your favorite snack or drink, and let's dig a little deeper into this milestone. Once the excitement dies down, and trust me, it will, right about the time when you see all the paperwork, that's when the questions are gonna start rolling in. Is this a good offer? Should I take it? What if I counter and they walk away? What does this even mean to me? It's like someone handed you a treasure map, but the instructions are written in a language you don't even speak. But here's the good news. You don't have to figure this out alone. I'm gonna walk you through every detail of what to do when you get that first offer, step by step. Stick around, and I will make this whole process feel less overwhelming. First things first, breathe. I'm not kidding. Take a deep breath in, hold it for a second, and then let it out. You've got time. Some offers come with a deadline, but it's typically 24 to 48 hours. You have plenty of time to read, process, and figure out your next move. What we're not going to do is panic, overthink, or make a snap decision because you feel pressured. This is a big deal, and big deals deserve careful consideration. So you got that offer in front of you. Where do your eyes go first? Let me guess. The price. We're wired to zero in on a big number at the top. And sure, it's important. It might even be the thing that you have been dreaming about, but it's not the only thing that matters. A high price with terrible terms could cost you in the long run, while a slightly lower price with amazing terms might actually be the better deal. So before you get too excited or too disappointed, let's look at the whole picture. Speaking of the whole picture, let's talk about contingencies. A contingency is the buyer basically saying, I'll buy your house if. It's like a conditional promise. Some contingencies are standard and no big deal at all, like financing contingencies. That just means that the buyer needs to secure their mortgage before the sale can close. Another common one is the inspection contingency. This gives the buyer a chance to have the house inspected to make sure that there aren't any major surprises hiding under the floorboards. These contingencies are normal and honestly, pretty fair. But then there are the creative contingencies. These are the ones that make you go, wait, what? I've seen buyers ask for things like the seller's patio furniture, the washer and dryer with the refrigerator, and even all the furniture in the house. The point is, not all contingencies are reasonable. So read through them carefully, and if something seems off, flag it. Here's a common question that sellers have. Do I have to agree to all the contingencies? The short answer, no. Contingencies are negotiable. If the buyer's request feels a little too demanding, you can counter it with terms that work better for you. If they want you to include your brand new washer and dryer, but you planning to take it with you to your next place, you can offer a small credit instead. The goal here is to find middle ground that keeps the deal moving forward without you feeling like you're giving away the farm, literally or figuratively. Now let's talk about the timeline, because this is another big piece of the puzzle. Most offers will include a proposed closing date, the day that the buyer officially takes ownership and you hand over the keys. Depending on your situation, this timeline can either feel perfect or completely unrealistic. Maybe they want to close in 30 days and you're thinking, how am I supposed to pack up my entire life in 1 month? Or maybe they're asking for a 90-day close, but you're already picturing yourself in your new place. The good news is that the closing dates are negotiable. If the proposed timeline doesn't work for you, talk to your agent, and they can work with the buyer to find a schedule that does. And speaking of schedules, let's say you haven't found that next home yet. This happens more often than you would think, and it can be a source of stress for sellers. But here's the thing, you can make the sale contingent on you finding suitable housing. This contingency is a great way to protect yourself from ending up in a situation where your home is for a few weeks. Now let's move on to earnest money deposits. If you're unfamiliar, this is the buyer's way of showing that they're serious about buying your house. It's like a security deposit. It says, hey, I'm not just window shopping, I'm ready to commit. A larger earnest money deposit typically means that the buyer is confident and ready to move forward. But if this deposit is small or worse, non-existent, that's a red flag. It can mean the buyer isn't as serious as they seem, or they're juggling offers on multiple properties. Either way, it's worth discussing with your agent. Let's shift gears and talk about inspections. because I know this is a part that can make sellers nervous. No house is perfect. Maybe your roof is nearing the end of its lifespan, or the furnace has seen better days. That's okay. The inspection isn't about nitpicking every little thing. It's about making sure that there aren't any major deal breakers. If the buyer comes back with a list of repairs, take a deep breath. Some requests might be totally reasonable, like fixing a leaky faucet or replacing a cracked window. Others might feel over the top, like demanding a brand new HVAC system when the existing one works just fine. This is where negotiation comes in. Here's a story for you. I once knew a seller who got repair requests for things like loose doorknobs, squeaky hinges, and minor cosmetic scratches on the hardwood floors. Instead of stressing, they fixed the doorknobs and the hinges, then politely declined to address the scratches. The buyer accepted, and everyone moved on. The lesson here? You don't have to agree to every single repair request. Focus on the ones that are fair and reasonable, and don't be afraid to push back on the rest. Now let's dive into negotiations, because this is where things can get interesting. If the offer isn't exactly what you're hoping for, don't panic. This is just the start of a conversation. Maybe the price is lower than what you would like, or the contingencies feel a little too demanding. Counteroffers are your best friend in situations like this. Let's say the buyer offers $20,000 below your asking. You could counter by meeting them halfway, or you can stick closer to your original price, but offer to cover a portion of their closing costs. It's all about finding a balance that works for both parties. And what about lowball offers? These can feel like a punch in the gut, but don't take them personally. Some buyers just like to test the waters with a low number to see how much wiggle room there is. Instead of getting offended, use it as an opportunity to negotiate. Counter with a price that works for you and see if they're willing to come up. You might be surprised at how quickly they adjust. On the flip side, what if the offer is everything you dreamed of? Price is great, the terms are fair, and the timeline works. First of all, congratulations, but don't let your excitement rush you into saying yes. Review everything carefully. Talk it over with your agent and make sure that there aren't any hidden surprises. Even the best offers deserve a thorough review before you sign. Once you've made your decision whether to accept, counter, or reject, time to communicate that to the buyer. Your agent will handle most of this, but it's important to feel confident in your choice. This is your house, your process, and your terms. At the end of the day, receiving your first offer is a huge milestone. Whether you're excited, negotiating, or deciding to walk away, know that you're in control. Selling a house is a journey, and you're navigating it like a pro. When it's all said and done, take a moment to celebrate. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more tips like this. And you may also want to check out my latest video on 5 quick fixes that will instantly increase your home's value. I'm here to help, and I love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.